So you doing all right today?
I'm doing alright, yeah.
Cool.
Sound mixing with that emulator is so bad because the emulator's so much louder than everything else. Alright. Let me just... Oh my god, how did I haven't screenshot in fucking forever.
Yeah, luckily I think it's pretty good on Discord for the most part.
Yeah, that's pretty alright.
Ooh, what the? All right, I'm gonna try to get a pop-out player of that.
I hope it's not laggy or anything.
It looks okay, I think.
Mm. Well, because it says 30 FPS and I'm always a little bit anxious about it getting chopped up.
Yeah. There we go.
Awesome.
So yeah, this is like a wireframe or something?
This is not... It is a wireframe, but it's a full model.
Wow.
Doesn't have a filter applied to it. More or less, it's a complete model. It spans, I think, about 1,700 polygons.
Yeah, it looks pretty high detail for a DS game.
And the background model is, I think, around 180. I can... I don't know where the model went. I would search forever for it.
Cool.
But yeah, this is... Huh?
Is this like a debug menu or of some sort?
No, this is not a debug menu. This is actually the select screen.
Oh, okay. But you made some edits to it. It seems.
What a lot of people don't know is that the select screen in Mario Kart DS, you have the circle under the card, right? And that circle is actually a model. And luckily for me, it does not require material presets, which cards usually do with card body, card emblem, and card tire, which without that the game just crashes. Yeah, it's pretty annoying. Certain objects and cards do that, especially when it's tied to animation, and it's always fun when you have like, oh, I'm done with everything imported and tested out, and the game just crashes. This is the best thing you can have. Yeah, it's frustrating.
So
But
like just like a question about Mario Kart DS modding in general. Are you guys able to like add like additional tracks and kart stuff, or is it just replacing the existing ones?
actually, recently we have recently, I don't know how long it was ago. I think of either a few weeks or months. We have Mario Kart Wii Custom Track Revolution. I think it's called the one that adds cups to it.
Yeah, I think I saw like a trailer for that.
We pretty much have the same thing now.
Awesome.
I don't think we have as many cups. I think we can add up to, or have, I think we can have up to 90 tracks. And we could theoretically have more, but the heap size or the texture cache for the preview pictures kind of prevents that.
I see.
So we either had to, not have these pictures, or just have these 90 tracks. But 90 is already plenty.
That's
When
crazy. Holy
It's
cow.
almost 3 times the amount you had back in the day.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So yeah. But the main thing I want to do with DSX is actually to, yes, create a new F-Zero game and all, using the Mario Kart DS engine, but also to show what this console is actually capable of.
Right, it can do a lot. Yeah, it still surprises me.
The Nintendo DS is such an underutilized console, with many games. I think Prime Hunters did a great job graphically.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But especially the early games, which of course is understandable, very much underutilized this console.
Yeah, I think a lot of those dev teams were kind of they were more used to 2D development still.
I mean, the DS has, and what many people don't know, only sorry, it can only display one 3D engine at a time.
Oh, really?
Yes. So you know that in Mario Kart DS, during the intro, both screens are 3D, right?
Right.
They use a pretty neat trick for that, which is switching the engine from, I think, blank or 2D to 3D per frame on both screens.
That sounds like overly complicated. But
It is overly complicated, but it works.
Yeah. Interesting.
You can, I think, notice this when the game lags or when the emulator is slowed down.
Yeah.
You can pretty much see that. I don't know if I can actually simulate that here. I can look in the video settings, but no, I can't. Model on DS is a little bit limited, but way better than for displaying everything. And it runs a lot smoother. If you can see, I can actually, in the video settings, I can disable OpenGL and go to software, and it's exactly how the DS would display it.
Oh, wow. So yeah, it definitely takes a big hit.
But this is actually accurate. This is actually accurate emulation. Oh my god, I can't speak. This is actually accurate emulation.
Oh, okay, cool. What I don't think I've tried a standalone DS emulator. What is this one called?
This is Milan DS, and it's pretty much the best emulator out there. You can go up to 16 times native resolution, which basically looks like this.
Wow, it looks nice.
It's incredibly clean compared to 1 times native, which is just that. And you can just go up in resolution, and 4 times looks already pretty good.
Wow.
While I already keep myself at 8 because it's given it that clean look. An incredibly clean look. And what many people don't know about the project is actually it didn't start out as F-Zero. I came from the New Super Mario Bros. Modding community back in the day, back in 2017,
Okay.
when everything was conceptualized. And it did start out as Project Nitro Racer or Project Nitro Racer X.
Interesting. Is that like a regular vehicle game?
I kind of wanted to experiment a bit with 3D modeling at the time. So where it would go, I did not know that at the time. Eventually it became F-Zero because soon before or just during that time, I began to begin my love for GX and how good that game looks for the hardware. And it kind of inspired me to strive for that kind of quality.
Right. Yeah, you definitely achieved a really high level.
We could actually look at a few of the tracks if you'd so like.
I'd love to, yeah. That'd be great.
We have quite a few. Oh, this is an empty slot. Whoops. This is actually because of the wireframe. This one has a wireframe filter which OpenGL doesn't display, but the software engine displays it. This is what I mean with accurate emulation, because OpenGL just does not use that effect.
Right. Oh, interesting.
So the other models, I think only have 2 models, which is the Blue Falcon and the Twin Orita, which we will come back to later. It has a very interesting experimental feature implemented into it. But yeah, these are the only 2 machines that actually have a wireframe model in the select screen at the time.
Are those based off of the GX models?
These are actually the GX models, flat out the GX models.
Yeah, I knew they looked familiar.
Fun fact: the lowest poly version, like the lowest version of the model, is barely enough for the DS. It's barely at the limit that I can use, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. I just create a new texture for it and map it, and yeah, I called it a day.
The beauty of modding, honestly.
Beauty of modding, yeah. I could close that one window.
So you can race as the wireframe, probably.
No. The wireframe is really just for show.
Oh, okay. That would be kind of neat, though.
I would just completely bust the DS's everything. We have quite a few tracks. A few of them aren't finished. I need to go over outer space and especially White Land.
Yeah, that looked a little bright.
Now it's just preview pictures. I mean the track itself. I
Cool.
might go over Port Town and Lightning too, especially Lightning. These are the 4 tracks that aren't to my satisfaction yet.
Right.
We could go simply with Mute City, which
Yeah, I want to see it. Any and all of them, honestly. Holy cow, this one looks beautiful.
I kind of want to go a bit different with the countdown. I want to give it a bit more of a GX kind of feeling, to be honest. Like with the whole countdown machine thingy you have there.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go into that direction.
And this branching paths. Even got branching paths. That's cool.
Yeah. New Mute City is actually a combination of the most memorable, in my opinion, the most memorable features of any of the F-Zero games Mute City tracks. Minus the spiral. Minus the spiral. You might actually see quite a few of them. Especially in the first segment, you might actually see something. You might notice this one.
I mean, I'm noticing a lot of little things.
The first segment is actually inspired by Zero Gaps and Twist Road.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it.
These 180-degree turns. I'll come back to it. This one, for example, is based off of the GBA games. And the jumping section, I didn't know what to take from F-Zero X, so I took that one. So
it looks like it'd be a crazy track for snaking.
Oh yeah, it would. The drifting is, if you noticed it, actually it's changed quite a lot. So you don't jump and you really just slide. You have immediate input. You can, I can show it a bit more later, but you can actually drift inside a drift, which is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, this one is based off Climax, the split path, actually. And these 180-degree turns is GP Legend, and that jump is, if you guessed it, it's SNES.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it could be a number of things, but.
And this spiral is something that stuck with New Mid City pretty much since the beginning.
Okay. Cool. Looks like a fun track. Really.
It is a fun track. It's actually pretty polished, and I took a lot of techniques. Pretty much every shading technique found on the console is used here.
Yeah, it shows.
Mirroring and transparency at the clouds, environmental mapping, which is on the metal, like the reflective part of the metal. Vertex coloring, which of course is the shading, but also the guardrails would have a very slight red to pink gradient.
Yeah.
And of course billboarding for the objects that just like always face the camera. It's pretty much really everything I could do at the time. And it holds up.
Yeah, it basically looks like a 3DS game.
The skybox works pretty interesting. The skybox has actually 4 layers, which is the top layer, the bottom layer, the stars, which is really just a cube. Just the star part, the sparkles, are really just a cube with a star map put onto it.
I noticed like there's like a fog effect going around the whole entire bottom of the track too.
Oh yeah, you mean like the
Over
what
the
GX has?
Yeah. Did you have
This
to
is
implement that yourself?
this is a model. This is all pure modeling.
Oh, okay.
I used a few deformations to give it a few optical illusion effects, so it has basically more depth to it. Which is also why the skybox fades out during the. Oh, look at that! Fades out during the middle of it. Oh, the respawn actually works here. Oh, that's cool. Sometimes that doesn't actually work. This is one of the favorite things I've brought into this game is New Mute City, because it's just everything from every game put into one track.
What gave you the idea for Neo Mute City?
Oh, this is a really good question. I think I wanted Mute City to show how far the franchise has come as a whole, by mixing like everything together and adding onto it.
Okay.
Which is basically what DSX does. It combines the best things of the franchise and adding new things to it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a neat idea. Kind of like a spin on it, like a darker version.
Yeah. Why not just look at some of the older tracks? This is one of my personal favorites, to be honest. I know you looked at it in the stream already, but
It's
you know,
Drift Highway.
it's Drift Highway. I actually had to do a clip plane, like a render distance plane, and yeah, it shows. But this is how I got the track so detailed, without the DS exploding on itself. And these waterfalls, I love these waterfalls. I'm so proud how I got the texture together.
Yeah, it is impressive. I saw a little bit of coaling there, but that's a pretty big nitpick.
Yeah.
But like it's hardly noticeable.
The sun in the background is also interesting, because the part where the sun is an extra polygon on top of a vertex colored plane.
Oh.
So the part directly behind the sun texture has no texture at all.
Oh, interesting.
It's kind of a separate model in the game's files, or in the model file itself. So yeah, I tried to replicate the GX model as much as I could. Of course, not with the object placement, which, besides the tower, is near impossible to handle for the console.
Oh, you mean like all the underwater structures, like the roads and stuff?
Yeah, the roads especially, but I mean the towers.
Oh yeah.
And the islands. I had to take a bit of creative liberty with that.
Right. Yeah, it's understandable. It is probably like one of the more visually impressive GX tracks or like venues.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do like a retexture for it, and it's definitely the most complicated. It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna grab a few of the textures you use.
Oh, of course.
For DSX, I kind of grabbed myself a few textures created by the community and compiled a few shader textures from Switch and Wii U games to create the depth effect for the roads and the buildings and everything.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know on which track it would be the most visible. To be honest, I have no idea. Firefield is a very interesting track
Oh yeah, I bet
in that regard.
that one's probably pretty intense on the console.
It's not actually the particles in the background are a model.
Okay.
It's a model with a texture on top of it. Because I don't think the game actually has that effect in the particle file. So I had to get creative with it. I wanted to have these particles.
Wow, the giant jump plate. That's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
I might have to retexture it a bit because it kind of looks a bit off.
Right.
A
Yeah.
huge yellow jump plate. There's one track I solved a lot better, which is, I think we're gonna look at it next,
Okay.
which is Metal Fort from the F-Zero games.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a callback right there.
For DSX, I wanted to really incorporate something from every F-Zero game, from every part of the franchise.
Ooh, I love that branching path too. That's really cool.
Yeah. This is gonna be relevant as soon as we figure out how to implement boosting, which is gonna be a while, so don't expect it in the near future.
Oh, like manual boosting?
Yeah, completely manual boosting with recharge.
Oh man, that's just
This
like
is why this
crazy.
is so huge. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see the depth on the rocks and the road, which is done by compiling normal, specular, and albedo maps,
Okay.
which is base, reflective, and which is depth, base. Wait, no. Wait, in what order did I say? Anyway, it's the albedo texture is the normal texture without any shaders applied to it. The specular texture is basically for
Oh. Looks like we might have had a little hiccup on the stream.
when we are back, you can definitely tell me.
It looks like we just came back up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just had a little hiccup there.
Yeah, what I wanted to show us. Oh no, not that one. Hang on. Which is Melfort, which I had to figure out over almost a year. This track was almost a year in the works.
Wow.
It went under a lot of chains. It was conceptualized as having a huge reference to the Final Fantasy VII game. The remake, yeah, I know.
Wow, cause Metal 4 it only appeared in BS, the spin-off for F-Zero SNES, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you could do whatever you wanted with it, really.
Yeah. Especially since there is nothing I could go off of except for the layout.
Yeah.
Later on, I actually went with the nuclear or general power plant idea.
Yeah. I think that's really neat.
Similar to Lightning, but like more factory based, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta say might be probably my favorite track I've seen so far. This is really, really impressive.
The Steam texture is something I actually got from Mario Kart Wii. I searched so long for a good Steam texture.
Yeah, it's
this
hard.
was such a pain. Yeah, it's finding textures.
I've noticed that a
One
lot
of
of a lot of Mario Kart textures are like bundled together into like this cube form too, so it's kind of hard to.
Oh, I do that with DSX too sometimes.
Is that like a way to like save space or something?
Of course, yeah, it's saves a lot of space. Or, I mean, it makes sense if you have textures for cards and stuff. For the road, it's not as much. For the road, you see that it's the same on both sides, right?
Right.
So I don't have to have the full texture. I can just cut it in half and mirror it on the axis.
Ah, so clever.
Yeah, it saves a lot of memory space, like literally half of the memory space.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I can imagine.
was quite a revelation when I found that out. And yeah, this is the first real track to feature complete camera movement along every part of the track.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, it has a lot of different angles. Did you have to manually place those yourself and everything?
Yeah, I had to use area mapping,
Okay.
which is basically a box. Yeah, right? A trigger box. Like you can basically, you know that Half-Life when you have the debug mode enabled, when you have these trigger uh, planes, it's basically like that.
Oh.
I feel old saying that. I didn't even play Half-Life.
That's a
Uh,
great game.
it's
Very modded game as well.
yeah. Um, let's actually switch to another machine. We could actually go with the Dragon Bird, I think. Or wait, I don't know if I have actually modded the stats. I have, I think, 3 machines that have modded stats, which is the Wild Goose, the Golden Fox, the Blue Falcon, and the Trinarita. Trinarita.
Okay.
Modding stats is not hard, but I'm just lazy with that one, to be honest. Um, but yeah, Wild Goose, it's actually one of my favorite machines in the entire game.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, wasn't this machine based off of the egg cart
Oh yeah,
originally?
it is. Yeah. I
That
actually
was.
wonder, how did you find that out?
I just remember asking you because that was my favorite cart by far in DS.
Oh yeah. But the stats are completely different, and you kinda are gonna see why. You can do that.
Oh, are you like kind of snaking?
No, this is the. I do not. I'm not touching the drift button. And the drift is basically. It goes very much outward, so you have to push the drift button twice to actually get a drift going.
Oh wow, but
So you
it
have to start the drift and touch the drift button again, and then you can basically drift.
looks pretty fast though. Like I
It is
can't. It's
pretty
hard to
fast.
tell without a speedometer, but
It's gonna be implemented eventually. I'm gonna keep saying eventually because I do not have a set person that does the coding.
right.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, it's a ton of work. So
it is a ton of work. I had so many problems designing that track until I went to the lone rock in the desert kind of vibe.
you got the sand tornadoes though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's something I really wanted to not have the track look so empty.
I like those pillars that you have. Those look really cool.
Oh yeah, this is a bit of background scenery is always good.
Hmm. Yeah, the
Um,
F-Zero has always done really good with that. Just like making a little bit go a long way.
yeah, very very subtle design choices.
Hmm.
Um, oh my god, the controls are very much different to any of the other cards. It's so flow.
Ooh, looks like we may have had another hiccup on the stream. Are you still there?
Um, yeah.
If you wanna, I can pop on like a video from the DSX archive, so you could like take a little break from playing.
Oh no, no, I'm good with playing.
Okay.
I actually like playing the game.
Okay. Cool.
Uh, I do it privately from time to time on my console.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, it's really cool to see it, you know, in action. But the option's always there if you want to.
Oh yeah, of course. I'll keep that in mind. Um, but it's helped me a lot talking about the game when I'm actually playing it. Makes things a lot more comfortable.
Right.
So Deathwind is a track that's not completely visually finished, and something I didn't show off yet. Uh, so you are actually one of the first to actually see the track in its almost complete form.
Oh wow.
I have to do a few model tweaks, but
Looks a little familiar. So this is Deathwind. Is there going to be a wind effect on the track?
there's gonna be, but again, it has to be implemented.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that being delayed.
But yeah, I designed the track to have as much moving as possible.
It's nice and simple, but it's like tilting and curves are so smooth.
Oh yeah, the road is actually I think 1,200 or something polygons. Which is the fun fact. This is the highest poly road the entire game.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is there like an option to enable item boxes on these, or are they
No.
strictly no?
I'm gonna keep myself away.
Yeah, that's probably a good choice.
A little bit more sense of speed.
Hmm.
So no matter how where you look, something is always moving on the track. Was kind of the goal behind that. Because I have to work with a very, very simple layout. And, yeah. super complicated. And the camera doesn't really work here because I didn't properly configure it, as you can see. But yeah, there's these bars which you can see from the player's perspective because I actually kind of messed up the visibility of these. Normally they should be visible from both sides.
Okay.
Oh, I actually got out of the menu, so let's go with the Golden Fox then and Green Plant. Green Plant is a track I have to heavily redesign because on emulator it lags and on console polygons rip apart basically.
Oh wow.
You can see the kind of lag it has.
Yeah, holy cow.
It gives me Sonic Unleashed vibes.
You went with like a totally different kind of jungle theme, and I really like it.
Yeah, I wanted to go do a lot different with DSX. And I mean like basically everything.
Yeah. Wow. It's really visually impressive.
Yeah, especially for that console.
Have you considered trying Mario Kart 7 modding?
I actually did, but I think the time I began with DSX, modding wasn't advanced there. Like you could barely make custom tracks,
Okay.
and I think now it's little bit too late to switch over.
Right.
Although this speedometer is it's very thought provoking.
What do you mean by that?
Switching over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I think the only thing keeping me from it is the physics engine.
Yeah, it's not quite
I
as good
remember-
as a.
Mario Kart DS can be a bit broken, and it's good that way.
Yeah, I feel similarly.
There's a track in DSX that does a lot of crazy shifts and stuff. And yeah, in Mario Kart 7 that wouldn't be as possible. I mean, I could always have people code that away, like have the card parts removed and stuff.
Yeah, kind of like a PM or something for like it changes the gameplay to make it faster, more similar to DS.
Exactly. Um, so yeah, that option would of course be open, but I really don't want to do that.
Yeah. That's always really cool when that like people do that and it works out, but it's really hard to get that right.
DSX is basically my love for the franchise in a game. uh,
I'm really nostalgic towards this style of graphics, like in general.
yeah, that's also a huge factor to it.
Yeah,
Um, the low poly style and the low resolution textures and making something so big out of it. Uh, it's impressive to me myself too.
yep.
Okay. Okay. Uh, outer space actually. Oh my god.
Oh, this is gonna be an interesting one.
This is far from finished. I'm probably gonna redo the entire background scenery. But the texture work and shading, it's so... I don't know,
Oh
it's so spacey.
yeah, I like the track texture a lot. It's
Yeah,
kind
it's a little bit blurry, and that just makes it...
yeah, and like this, I don't know. I kind of like it better than the GX rendition of it.
Yeah, it's a lot brighter.
Right, yeah, more colorful.
And this tunnel is just amazing.
Oh, that is neat.
With all the lighting effects and everything.
And a lot of those like the booster pads in refiller that you put in there, you put them in like pretty challenging to get places.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal behind it. To have a bit of challenging, to have people go for the boost pads,
Yeah.
um, or just crash into the wall like I just did. This section is something a lot of people that playtested this track uh, said was like way too hard, but like you have to get into it. This is just part
Yeah.
of the difficulty. Also, you
Right.
can do something very interesting in this track, which I'm gonna show off in the next lap.
Okay. Awesome.
Pipe physics in Mario Kart DS are very broken. Have you ever played Rainbow Road? You kind of know what I mean.
I've seen some of the weird tricks people do on that track. I don't completely understand them, but you can do
Basically,
something on
with
the loop.
normal collision, you can drive on walls. You
Oh
can drive on
wow.
walls without collision, but I don't fully understand how it works. Uh, so you can actually combine with a boost on very certain angles. You can do that. Oh wait.
Oh my god.
uh,
Whoa,
uh,
are you driving sideways?
no.
Oh my
Kind of.
gosh. Oh my goodness.
It looks hilarious. Yeah.
So you can just do
Yeah.
loop to loops.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Uh, and the comments in the background it's a very neat addition to it.
Hmm.
But the things that just go by from time to time in the background. The polygons for that are fucking massive.
Yeah, they are.
It's not just a model that moves by from time to time. No, it's just a texture that moves on the model. Um, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You probably could have done something very abstract, like having an object move on collision, but nah,
Yeah,
nah.
it looks fine as is.
Um, silence actually it
Ooh.
changed a lot.
This one I'm really curious about because I've just recently I've been kind of curious of like what silence is actually like as a venue, like. But I mean,
So I completely overhauled from the last track.
wow, this is cool. It's like a temple theme.
Yeah, this
Oh
was
wow.
suggested to me. Oh my god.
I like that inside section.
Yeah. There's another.
Oh wow. No,
It's small,
this is
but
pretty incredible.
yeah, I went all out with the visuals this time.
Yeah, no holds bars. And those boost pads are pretty brutal.
Oh, they are absolutely brutal and almost impossible with some machines to get. And this is kind of the reason why I did that like that. I might space them out a bit more, but this is kind of how I like it. And especially mountain texture in the background, I'm absolutely in love with that. I wanted to do something very different with silence in DSX. And the main inspiration for the temple theme was actually the boss music in Mario Odyssey. I think Knuckle Tech or something was its name. The desert boss, like in the crystal cave. Yeah.
Cool. I got Melissa to take care of some spam bots in the chat.
Oh, okay. No worries. Haven't had to deal with spam bots on my streams in the past. On YouTube I did, but I switched to Twitch because bad internet.
Yeah. They make up the bulk of my viewers.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, silence, lots and lots of stuff. I went over the shading, I think 3 or 4 times, just on this model.
Yeah, because like you have to make the inside darker, more shadowy.
The inside wasn't that much of a problem. The biggest problem was the shading of the temple and the outside.
Oh yeah.
Not that section, not that as much, but the other outside section.
Oh, and I just noticed that you have custom lap counts too.
Custom lap counts?
Like
oh, you mean the 4 laps?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's doable since I think forever. You can't go over 5 laps, otherwise the game crashes in time trials.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure MKDS only did 3 laps.
It could do 5. I think there was one track that did 5 laps.
Oh, interesting.
That was Baby Park.
Oh no.
Yeah, Baby Park, one of the worst tracks outside of Double Dash. Like, outside of Double Dash, it's one of the worst tracks. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I'm catching your drift.
It was designed for Double Dash, so its feature doesn't carry over that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to just...
Are these some remakes?
Oh yeah, these are remakes. This is White Land. This is my very, very experimental attempt with the track. Obviously not finished.
Of course, yeah.
I might do a completely overhaul, like I did with Silence. But yeah. Oh.
So this one has the, the jump plate extensions on it.
Yeah. I didn't put actual jump collision to it, because that would make it just jump way too high.
Right, yeah.
Just a very fun thing you can do in a track to basically skip half the lap. It's ridiculous. It's kind of a speedrun thing I wanted to implement, but I didn't end up doing it. Oh, I lost all my boosts.
Yeah, this looks like a track with a lot of speedrun potential.
Yeah, especially with like the collision and everything. I don't think I put heavy collision, heavy off-road. I think it should be normal off-road. There's basically 3 types of off-road. A light off-road, which barely slows you down, a medium off-road, which is what Mario Kart DS mostly uses, and a heavy off-road, which, yeah, almost stops you completely. So it's very agonizing to drive on it. I might get to the Twinnerita in the next track, because it has a very, very interesting feature, which is of course still experimental, because I have no idea how to do particles and, bone animations, because that has been implemented. Okay. Oh, I restarted. This is something I wanna fix, that you can't pause during the countdown.
Oh, that would be really
Yeah.
cool. That's a nice feature that GX has that a lot of racing games don't have.
Yeah. Really, really wanna get that to work, to be honest.
That would be big, because then, like, probably other modders could use that on their mods too.
That's true, that's true. So, main feature of the Twinnerita is the very experimental boost of flames. Oh my god. Let me restart that. It has a very interesting collision detection, so it shows sometimes. But yeah, Aeropolis is one of the best looking tracks in the entire game. I'm pretty proud of the fog effect. I might actually make the track a bit more detailed if I actually implement a clipping plane, like a render distance, like I did in Big Blue. So I could basically put a lot more objects into it. Because the way clipping in this game, or render distance in this game works, it only applies to objects and the main model.
Okay.
So it can do some very neat trickery with that. Basically having the buildings as background model, and certain stuff as a foreground model.
Okay.
So when it's outside of the clipping plane, it just doesn't get rendered, saving memory in turn. But yeah, I love this track. I don't know why.
What's this one based off of?
I kind of winged it, to be honest.
Okay.
But yeah, this was the time where DSX went a lot with spirals. And I mean a lot. And this jumping section was actually, the track was actually meant to be played backwards.
Oh, you're supposed to go downhill?
You were.
Did that not work too well with the physics or something?
It really didn't work with the floaty physics. The game basically, unlike GX, it pulls you down in a constant velocity, where GX has a increasing velocity to it.
Oh, interesting.
So the longer you fall, the faster you fall in GX, and in Mario Kart DS it's basically just a constant speed. Which, of course, makes it a bit hard to implement something that big. So yeah, Red Canyon is one of the tracks that I like the most. I like ground-based tracks in F-Zero. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Because, yeah, they're a bit on the rarer side.
Yeah, and you can do some really cool stuff with ground-based tracks. Like you can. Oh my god, let me just restart that. The collision on that one is very like on a machine, not on the road itself. It's weird. I might need to fix the collision position. Which yes, it does exist like that. It's based on the tire position on the original model. But yeah, I went really nuts with this one.
Yeah, that's really neat. Oh, wow.
I might need to fix the clipping a bit, but I can do that with collision.
Yeah.
So I don't need to modify the model itself. Yeah. I wanted to do something different for every jump in the cave. And I would say I succeeded with it. Oops.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that coming out of that tunnel looks really cool.
So yeah, this is... You basically don't recognize the original track.
What is the original?
Multi-jump from X.
Oh, right, right.
So this is what I meant earlier with DSX having a lot of creative liberty over everything. I basically just usually I just take the layout of a track and model everything around it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to go off of, unfortunately.
No, not in X. With Big Blue, with the Drift Highway, I kind of wanted to go a bit more on the accurate side of things. But with SNES, GBA, and sometimes N64 tracks, I literally just take the layout and slap everything around it. Yeah. So there are 2 tracks that need an overhaul. Because part on is a bit on the bright side. It'll land up in the bright side. But the tilted pit areas are something I've gotten to love ever since. I think Lightning Volute was the first track to actually have that implemented.
Okay.
But yeah, this is also what I mean with DSX having very crazy angles for the road.
Wow. Is this another N64?
No, this is wait. This is Climax, I think.
Oh.
No, was it Sky Highway or Half Dome? I think it was Half Dome.
Oh, okay.
This was Climax. Lightning was from a GP Legend. I took Lightning from GP Legend. I tried my best to have an equal amount from every game.
Oh, cool. This one's really neat looking.
Yeah, I might do a bit more with background decoration, especially with the skybox. But I'm not sure what exactly. So that's up for debate. Actually.
I like those cubes that are hanging in the sky.
Oh yeah.
Those are cool.
This is some of the more advanced stuff I did.
Is that booster effect coming out of Twin Narita new?
You mean the flames?
Yeah.
It is new. It is indeed new.
Cool.
I'm very proud of that. It's not animated or anything, but I want to. I really want to. So, yeah, with Lightning, again, a lot of liberties were taken. I wanted to do a lot of crazy angles with this one.
Yeah, this one looks like a one-for-one remake with, well, like, not track-wise, but, like, how it looks. It looks just like Lightning.
Yeah. Also, okay, I can't stop here. always start, but look at the effect
Oh,
it has.
it's just like GX.
So this is actually 2 polygons layered on top of each other, which you can see right here. See the small strip between the track?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this is just 2 polygons doing the thing.
Oh, interesting.
And the viewers are very, very low resolution. It's basically 8-bit sprites at this point, but you can't really see that on console or just while driving by,
Yeah,
basically.
they're a lot smaller in the console one, I think. Because, like, in GX, they, like, hang out in those little, like, floating circular dome things on a lot of tracks.
Yeah. I think they are on Lightning, on Big Blue, and I think that's it.
Sand Ocean.
Oh yeah, and but that's different ones, isn't it?
Might be. It might be this, yeah. It might be, like, a different color palette or something.
Yeah. I think GX just uses PNG-like files without color palettes, doesn't it?
I'm
Uh,
not sure. But yeah, Sand Ocean is the one where they're, like, hanging out in those little floating things.
yeah.
They're real tiny.
But yeah, I wanted to do a bit more of the shortcut GP Legend had. Of course, I couldn't do too much with it, so I just decided to go for, hey, this is a zone that makes you slower. So I went with that.
So basically, use your shroom there.
Basically. But yeah, I did a lot of visual work on this track.
Yeah.
With all the lightning, the signs, and the lighting in the background. The light beam. Hang on.
Have you tried doing any like half pipe sort of tracks?
Oh, you mean like in GX, half pipe?
Yeah.
I did plan that, yes, but I don't know where, to be honest.
It'd probably be utterly broken with the physics.
Not necessarily. Half pipes aren't that bad.
Oh, okay.
Loopings or loops pipes are bad.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, ever since mid 2020, DSX actually has streamed music, so it's not MIDI based anymore.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
So it can actually have music on GX level of quality
Nice.
without having to be quote unquote programmed first. Like without having the need for a specific sound font.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty neat in my opinion. DSX is in general very, very special among any kind of mod.
Definitely.
Because I don't think in the entire Mario Kart community, entire Mario Kart modding community, I don't think that anything comes close to what DSX is.
Yeah, yeah, this is definitely like full. This is like basically a full conversion. Like
it is.
basically every aspect has changed.
So this one is based on Chapter 4 of GX's mission mode or
neat.
story mode.
That's really cool. It's like a city environment.
I wanted to do a lot more of it because it had potential. It had so much potential.
Yeah.
And they just didn't use it, so...
Yeah, F-Zero in general just has so much potential. It's crazy. But,
So,
yeah. This is actually like inspiring me to make a few more GX retexture mods. Just because these look so cool.
Yeah. I grab a lot of stuff just compiling textures and figuring out what looks good together.
Right.
But like in a way that's not making it obvious for where it actually came from.
Right, yep.
It's basically like Mario 64, if you have been keeping up with that. They try to basically reverse engineer every texture.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah, for the I think Render 64 project initially. Um, it's amazing. You gotta look into that.
I will.
Uh,
Yeah. I imagine modding for that game has gone pretty far.
yeah, especially since its source code got leaked.
Oh god.
Whoopsies.
So yeah, it
Yeah,
must be broken wide open, pretty much.
oh, it's completely like there is the reverse engineer project going on already. I don't know how much of the game they have decompiled. Like they literally are decompiling the game, the code
Nice.
for a while now, and it's amazing. Mario Kart DS has the same thing going on. They have, I think, 70% was it, decompiled on estimate.
That's exciting.
So yeah.
So there might be some pretty big things on the horizon for Mario
Oh
Kart
yeah,
modding.
especially if you heard of CTGP, not CTGP, was it GCGP GameCube Grand Prix, which is basically Mario Kart Double Dash and Mario Kart DS.
Yeah, yeah, I saw a trailer for that, and it kind of got me interested in trying out DS modding.
Um, about DS modding and trying it, from personal experience, I would say if you are already modding something else, I wouldn't try DS modding, because getting into it is a long and tiring process. It
Yeah,
took me almost four, yeah, it's almost 4 years since I've gotten to the point where I can say, yeah, this looks good. You have to do a lot of compromises with the render engine and the limitations.
yep.
Basically, if you come from GameCube or even Switch modding, for extreme examples, making DS models and working with the hardware is near impossible to master. But if you are new to modding and want to get into modding, DS modding is, I think, the perfect starting point.
Okay, cool.
Um, it's a lot to learn, however, it's a very lot to learn. Because the DS has color palettes, images, and map files, which basically just compile a 2D graphic. Then
Uh,
there's 3D graphics, which work similarly, because the textures have a color palette assigned to it. So we have to find a compromise. How many can I do with very little colors?
mhm.
I wouldn't recommend you going any higher than 64 for normal texture.
I mean,
Um,
aren't you using a lot of GX textures, or did you downscale those or something?
I have to downscale, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and compiling textures from, for example, Mario Kart 8, combining the normal specular emission map with the albedo texture, and then downscaling it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
I feel like a lot of the best games have always been made like with restrictions.
yeah. Limitations bring up creativity. This
Mhm.
is something I always tell myself and others to limit themselves at least a little bit to bring out the creative juices.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, but yeah, the if we when we talked about modeling a few seconds ago, I actually didn't begin modeling in Blender. It took me almost a full year to convert to Blender completely. I worked with SketchUp previously, and don't don't. That's all I can say. Don't. Don't even think about it. Just don't use Blender
Yeah.
or any professional software like Maya or 3ds Max, like I do.
Yeah, I've
Um,
heard those are the way to go. But I mean, I've dabbled, I've tried a little bit. It's still pretty challenging to figure
and
out.
nowadays you don't even need the software development kit tools from Nintendo themselves to make tracks like I do. They have made Blender add-ons in the Mario Kart DS modding community,
Oh, that's
which
amazing.
enable you to export into a Nitro Immediate file, or IMD for short, which holds the entire information of the model and textures.
That's so cool.
From what I've heard, it's XML based, which is very interesting. And from there on, you just convert to a binary file, which the DS can read. So yeah, it's not as hard as it used to be.
Right.
I still work with Maya and this SDK tools because I'm so used to it, and I don't want to switch to Blender 2.8, to be honest.
Oh, so you're sticking with the previous version?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the previous one. It's what I learned, and I just want to stick with that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, it's what you're good at, what you know.
Yeah. And I've gotten pretty far with it, and the new version doesn't bring enough benefits that I would say I would switch. I do not intend to switch. Little bit of a meta joke here.
So this is a kind of a long shot of a question, but is there any chance of you working on custom tracks for GX in the future?
Oh, of course. I would love to. This is something I've always said. As soon as custom tracks for GX are a thing that like I can do to the extent like I can do with Mario Kart DS with textures and everything, animations.
Mhm.
I would definitely focus the majority of my work to DSX for a while, at least.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I feel like we're kind of at like a roadblock phase, and that just something needs to happen with that.
I've seen a lot of progress, but a lot of slow progress.
Yeah. Yeah, but at least it's progress, so that's promising.
Yeah. So, spent a lot of time on that track. This is actually the last track that I didn't show yet.
Okay. I mean,
In this.
we could wrap up after this one if you'd like.
Oh no! I would love to talk a bit further. It's just a little heads up that after this, there's no new visual content that I can show. That I just probably have a track in the loop in the background.
Mm.
But yeah, this track actually came to mind when I thought about what about a track that's submerged into water.
Like the entire thing. Yeah, that's
That like
a
the
good
entire
idea.
thing. Which became to just partly,
Yeah, I don't think any F-Zero track has ever been fully submerged.
This track actually gave me a lot of ideas for how I want to handle the basically Neo Big Blue. I don't have a set name for it yet. It's very much in the early stages of conceptualization.
It sounds interesting though. I like the concept.
Basic driving over water.
Is that slippery?
No. It's basically just a road with water particles applied to it.
Oh, okay.
So basically doing the move that the one guy from one story did, just walking over water. Forgot his name. But yeah, just driving over water without ground under it.
Oh wow, that would be like Jesus.
Yeah. F-Zero Jesus, basically. F-Zero Jesus edition. So yeah.
That would be cool.
Basically, yeah. This is basically the concept of it. Main inspiration for Big Blue for the new one is gonna be Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. I think it's called Aquatic Palace or something.
That sounds cool.
This is my main inspiration for it.
That game looks pretty fun. I've never tried it, but I've heard it's kind of had a resurgence recently.
Yeah, Sonic Riders came back from the fanbase big time recently. And yeah, I am excited what they are gonna do with it. There's so much potential there.
Yeah, I might check that out.
Yeah, this DSX came a long way. It's been almost 4 years. Like, I think on the 27th or 28th, I began the concept of Nitro Racer.
Do you think we could look at like some like the earliest footage of DSX?
Oh, if I can find a ROM for that. I was never good at keeping the old ROMs, to be honest.
Yeah.
I might actually have somewhere in my Discord DMs or my Google Drive. I don't know.
My Streamlabs is being stupid, so I'm gonna reset stream. It's gonna take like 2 seconds, hopefully.